experts, Ms. Rangpriya Gautam, Managing Partner, 23's Workspace, Ms. Kirtana Chandrasekharan, CEO Bungie, and Squadron Leader Mr. Unni Nair, Director, Excel Group of Companies, esteemed Professor Dr. R. Tenoli, ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Management Studies, and my dear participants. The title for this webinar is Going Digital Before Corona to After Corona, How the Digital World Has Changed and How This Has Impacted the Digital Marketing and Ethics, which is organized by Synergy Management Club. During this time when even we don't want to touch the newspaper, even we are afraid of touching cash, internet is the savior. Considering 4.5 billion internet users globally and the era of social distancing, the business now has to focus on creating an online brand image. To optimize marketing, what can be a better way than the digital marketing? Digital marketing has become very important during this pandemic, and online shopping has become an integral part of our lives. Digital marketing is more personalized, relevant, and we can cater to the consumer's needs and preferences. Digital marketing, otherwise in ordinary course, we will be discussing in brick and mortar classrooms. But now we are able to discuss this topic, which is actually digital on a digital platform. But there are some problems also when we go totally digital because of the absence of personal interaction and anonymity. And that causes sometimes a challenge of ensuring ethics in business. That is how we have combined the topic of digital marketing and ethics in one webinar. We have today three very eminent speakers who are virtually present to enlighten us on digital marketing, going digital before Corona to after Corona, and ethics. On behalf of Department of Management Studies, University of Madras, I am very happy to welcome Ms. Rangpriya Gautam, Managing Partner, 23's Workspace, recipient of Milestone Achievement Award, alumni of IIM Bangalore, and Head of the Marketing and Operation Advisory at Tritium Business Solutions. She juggles between being an entrepreneur, heading a global solutions company as a CEO, and management education in India for Virginia Tech, a US-based university. Her core competencies include framing new business initiatives, strategic marketing, implementing systems, processes, and practices for continuous improvement and standardization of existing business. I'm also humbly honored to welcome Ms. Kirtana Chandrasekharan, CEO Bungie, who excels in the field of digital marketing, branding, technology, and e-commerce. Her core competency includes web and mobile technology and gamification. A digital marketing expert and an academician who is also co-founder of Game Edge Studios, a game development firm focusing on edtech and game-based learning systems. I'm greatly privileged to squadron leader Mr. Unni Nair, Director, Excel Group of Companies, who is a multifaceted personality, excelling in Indian Air Force, a motivator, and a term what he uses is an enter-trainer, combination of entertainment and trainer, adventure specialist, and outdoor sports person. He is driven by his purpose of living life to the fullest and moving people towards ethical leadership. I'm also very happy to welcome our distinguished head of the department, Dr. R. Tenoli ma'am, whose vision and leadership has always contributed to the betterment of our department. She's always very supportive and provides us with a stimulating environment. So my hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Now, this webinar on digital marketing will provide us with not only the nuances of data-driven web marketing, but it also will help us in understanding the real intricacies of the field and will give you another career option to choose from. With these words, as a faculty coordinator of Synergy Management Meet, I welcome you all for this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita. Thank you, Vanita. That was a great introduction. The whole new world of after COVID, before COVID, and the only platform that we all are thinking about is digital. Privileged to be here to be presenting what we know and we would like to share with students because they are starting off their careers in something new normal, I would say. The way we've structured this whole seminar is in three parts. So I talk about mostly about why one should move to digital, the statistics of how the world has moved in the last few years, and also as management students, how important it is for you all to know digital marketing or digital transformation, I would say, and segue into the marketing aspects now on completely online. After me, I would have Keetana, who's the CEO of Bungie, who would actually take you into the tools that make this field look much better, much more nicer, and probably some tips on how you could enhance your digital knowledge to be more structured. From there, we move on to squad leader Unni Nair, who's going to be talking about ethics. So when we build a brand online, it's important to know ethics that you need to have as an individual, as a brand, and as a community as a whole. So he would be talking more about that. With that, let me start with my first thank you note to Dr. Tenmoli. Happy to see you here, ma'am. Vanita for giving us the opportunity.
Along with Vanita Agarwal, I also joined to welcome you, Rangapriya Gautam and Unni Nair and one more. The distinguished speakers to the webinar on digital marketing and ethics. I think, I hope that our students will get benefited from your inputs. Okay, thank you for joining. Okay, you can continue.
Sure. So everybody can see the screen now? Okay. So I thought before we start off our session today, it's nice to just, wake up everybody from their digital screen to something like an exercise. So I'm going to ask you to take a picture of the webinar window that you see and hashtag Bungie Digital on our Instagram or Facebook, Bungie Digital first. And whoever does it first, fastest finger first, is going to get a voucher from my co-working space at 2 Trees for a one. So I'm all doing that action right away. I'm going to give you 2 seconds while I set up my presentation. Bungie Digital hashtag and Facebook is Bungie Digital. And you can tag me, my name on Bungie Digital and on 2 Trees is Rangapriya or Priya Gautam. I shall see you there. Okay, so let me start off by giving something, which is very beautiful as, what Warren Buffett said. So it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. And if you can think about that, you'll do things differently. Why did this happen? Because it takes just few seconds to spoil your image. So it's important to have a right image at the right time and a right place. With that, I wanted to start off with what is management, media, corporate communications now? Most of you, I think, are management students. You're having a topic called marketing, I suppose, as a part of your management studies. So marketing covers all the aspects of advertising, branding, market research, global, online, offline, and even writing and presenting a pitch. All these come under the part of marketing that you study. But other than that, today, you also need to be aware about media. And media covers communication, broadcasting, publishing on the internet collectively. So there's something new. There's a word coined called COPE, content once, published many times. So that's something which you all should remember, that whenever you create content, it could probably go to multimedia, which could be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and other mediums, or even a blog or a website. So all the activities that an organization undertakes, both within and outside the organization, comes under the ambit or the purview of this management professional that you are. And communication between the company and customers is something that you are a bridge between the two. When we have a product in hand and we have to communicate to our customer, so the communication that you bridge between the two is what will be effective corporate communication. And lastly, it is a management function or department like marketing, finance, operations, dedicated to dissemination of information to key stakeholders, which means that the stakeholders here are just not the consumers, but also to investors. It could also be to potential partners and so on and so forth. So it's very important that whatever you communicate has to be very, very clear, concise, and apt to what you're trying to do as a product. So here I quote Richard Branson. I suppose you all know who Richard Branson is. He's supposed to be the owner of this airline called Virgin Atlantic, but everybody followed his principle of the way he marketed. So I just thought, as marketing professionals, this is the right quote to talk about. So publicity is absolutely critical. A good media story is infinitely more effective than a front page ad. So whatever you try to do, you should have a good story to tell. So let's look at disruptions in our own industries. Now, I normally in a class, I would expect answers to come, but here, since it's a webinar, I'm looking at giving answers, but I'm just giving you meat for thought. So the first one being, largest car company doesn't own any cars. Do you all know what it is? If you all know, I would want you all to write in the chat window so that I can always go back and see. The second one is largest movie. The answer for the largest company doesn't own any car. Any guesses? I can actually hear it, but yes, the answer is Uber. The second one is largest movie screening company doesn't own a theater. I think in this time of lockdown, all of us are, I think, using this particular medium of entertaining ourselves. That's a cue. The answer is Netflix. Largest homestay doesn't own any hotels. This is again completely digitally they have managed this. So I wanted to bring about these case studies for you all to know how marketing can be done digitally and still be a brand which can be reckoned today. The answer here is Airbnb. Have you heard about Airbnb? The second last one is largest communication company doesn't own a phone. And today we're all using this technology to communicate with each other, but this was already there. The company name is Skype. Last one, I think all of you are doing this on a regular basis, but still, homegrown, largest food chain industry doesn't own a restaurant. The answer is Swiggy. So with so many disruptions in what is happening today around us, and we are all consumers of that, it is important to know why, how this transition happened. So digital footprint is something which has taken over our lives. Like Dr. Vanita mentioned, more than 4.5 billion people now have internet, while social media users are not far away. They're about 3.8 billion. So digital, mobile, and social media have become very, very important factors in our life. They become indispensable. You don't even want to have your parents, but you want to have your mobile and internet connection. I know that. But yes, this is a part of everyday life for people all over the world. However, I feel that when you have a digital footprint everywhere, you should also know what are the pitfalls, what is the data that can be misused. And so it's important that we all are careful about what we project ourselves as brands individually or as companies or representing other institutions. So anyway, more about today's topic is going digital before COVID and after COVID. I thought it is better that I show a lot of data happened in the last few years and what's happened in the last 3 months. I'm not seeing if there are any questions coming in because I'm on a full screen presentation, but if I do miss some questions, I'm going to take it after the presentation is over. So I'm starting off with the annual digital growth that has happened, and this results are from January 2019. So this is a statistics worldwide. We will come to Asia Pacific in few slides away. So the total population we're talking about is 1.1 million between Jan 2018 to 2019, which is 84 plus million people of the total population that we've tested this data. And unique mobile users are about 100 million. Internet users are 367 million, and active social media users are about 288 million, and mobile and social media users are about 297 billion. These numbers are crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine that this much of penetration is happening in the digital world. Let's see what's happened in 2020. So we've got a clearer picture. We've structured ourselves into what are the buckets that people are currently using. So among the population of 7.75 billion, we find that 5.919 are using mobiles. That means most of our data is consumed on the mobile phone. So that's a 67% of penetration into the mobile phone users. The internet users are about 59%. And we will talk about why it is lower than the mobile users. Then the active social media users are about 3.8 million. It's about a 49% penetration into this segment itself. So just to give you an overview, digital in 2020, a new decade, which started early in January, has got few things that are takeaways. So this is a big slide with a lot of content, but I just wanted to summarize by saying nearly 60% of the population is online. Now, who are the 40%? We will talk about it. There are some challenges for these 40% not being online, but yes, it could be people who are having no access, no knowledge, or knowledge, but do not have the ability to probably take an internet connection. We don't know, but there are challenges. Some of them are probably talking vernacular. We don't know that, but yes, it is one of the challenges. Another interesting fact that I wanted to share with you guys is that there's a gender gap apparently in South Asia. Men are more number who are using internet. I would say 3 times more than women. Then again, there's a gender disparity, but yeah, that's the data. The average time that people are spending on the internet is about 6 hours, 43 minutes on an average. It's huge. We don't even spend that much time to study, right? The culmination of waking up, using up internet combined is about, if you look at the number of years, I would look at it to be a 1.25 billion years during 2020 itself. That's really huge. The mobile users contribute more than 50% of the total internet users. There are a lot of mobile activities that are coming up in the recent past, mostly in terms of the mobile apps. I think more than 90% penetration happens to that, and most of our apps are used for digital transformation. Apps like, whether it's health, paper, cashless office, learning something. So there are many aspects in which the mobile apps have actually contributed to the whole usage itself. The categories for mobile app have been like smart homes. So we are able to control our lights, remote, or also, work on your health, food, diet, beauty, everything. You're buying things online. So everything is about smart home. The second one is about ride hailing. So you're using Uber, Ola, Swiggy. All these things are under the category of ride hailing. The third one is, of course, the biggest one. The topic today that we are talking about is digital advertisement. So that being said, we ought to be in the digital space. There's no way of we being left out or left back. So get up and be ready for this digital transformation. So this is not the thank you slide, but I want to let you all know. I want to thank these tools that have been our recent friends, during the lockdown and the period that we had to play with the new normal. So we had Netflix, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Zoom, and the online Ludo game, I think, which we play with friends. So I'm thanking all these people for keeping us alive, sane, and also functional with activity around us.
சொல்றா
So today I want to take you through with
யாரு
the daily time spent with media.
எதுக்கு
If you look at the time that we are spending on
சரி
internet
விட்றா நான்
itself is 6
எடுத்து
hours 43 minutes that I spoke about earlier. But in that, if you divide the whole thing, we are watching social media posts, which is 2 hours
அவர்
24
அங்கதான்
minutes.
இருக்காரா
Then watching television
சரி நான் அவரை
through
கூப்பிடுறேன்
the online platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on and so forth. There are many. So that's about 3 hours, so which means a movie time, I would say. Listening to music and streaming services like Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music, you do about 1 hour 26 minutes. Maybe I'm assuming this is when you're working out or when you're just relaxing or just before sleep. And lastly, the using of gaming console is about 1 hour 10 minutes. So global internet usage, we spoke about the percentage in 2019, but as you see, we have a penetration of 59% internet usage. In 1 year, you see the jump that's happened. The annual growth in numbers of global internet users has been about 298 million, and average time is again 6 hours 43 minutes.
நான் கேட்டிருக்கேன் ப்ரோ
So as you see, like the cavemen moved to like an evolution of a human. This is a good data for you all to know how our increase in usage of numbers have gone up. So what you see here is 4538 million users with a year-on-year change, right, from 2.83 to 4.5.
Okay, bro.
So I spoke about gender, remember? About how many people in the Asian countries are using the mobile as well as social media. You see India is at 76%, which is, like I mentioned, 3 times more than the world that Indian men are using internet. Some of the data which I thought is very important for us to know is the behavioral studies of social media. How people between the age 16 to 64 are engaging with social media. Why am I sharing all these statistics? It's important to know that these statistics actually pave way to your mind share of how internet is ruling our lives, or internet is ruling the rooster in terms of the businesses that are going to be in future. So here is where I'm talking about social network or messaging services in the past few months is about 97%. Actively engaged with social media, the past 1 month is about 87%. The average time spent on social media is about 2 hours 24 minutes. And social media accounts that are created is 8.6. That means one person has got 8 accounts. The percentage of internet users who are on social media for work purposes is 43%. So the balance 67 is actually browsing, relaxing, doing something like playing, listening to music. That's how the segment is structured at the moment. So again, like you see, we've been, I think, averaging it out about 2 hours that we spend on an average on the internet by using social media on any device. So again, the sample size is between age 16 to 64. Now, average number of social media accounts, like I said, per person. Now, worldwide is about 8.6. And do you know how much India is? Any guesses? 10 accounts on an average. It's crazy. So one person can have 10 accounts, which means we know how to target these 10 accounts in one go. Individual use of social media for work. So if you look at worldwide, it's 43%. Again, India is about 47%. This again, I would skew this data to be more worldwide centric than an Asia Pacific centric, because the way the trend moves on is what you see here. Since our active sample size is between age 16 to 64, we find that Facebook is being widely used across by millions of people. The next comes YouTube. The third one is WhatsApp, the FB Messenger, WeChat, and then Instagram. So these are the other tools that people do use to communicate with each other or to be online. Twitter is another important activity that most of the people do for brands, and many celebrities do use it. I think because of the content that it needs to be generated, so most of them shy away from being there. But otherwise, you see that the top 5 are Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, FB Messenger, WeChat, and Instagram. TikTok is getting there. I think initial hitches were there, but I think right now people are using TikTok as well. So the top messenger apps around the world, if you leave North America, you find the whole Asia Pacific region, the South America region and African region highly penetrated through the messenger apps. Now you see that WhatsApp is used in many places, barring certain Middle Eastern countries and the
ಹಾಕಿದೆ
Ma'am, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I'm going to reshare the screen again. So the digital services that, okay, I have to go back to this slide because today, if it's whoever is an entrepreneur has to really think about being digitally savvy. Otherwise, the business is not going to be as what it is, running from one place, a small store. This is not going to work. So it's a must for entrepreneurs to survive the ongoing crisis. The pandemic has accelerated the process of digital transformation across almost all sectors. Today, you find everybody embracing technology, embracing digital tools for them to communicate and also do businesses. So the greater social mobility and shared value creation are the most of these factors that entrepreneurs can leverage using digital tools on a recovery path. If you're not digitally savvy, entrepreneurs really can't recover or embrace their entrepreneurial journey into being success. So the pandemic has accelerated the process of digital transformation across almost all sectors. Today you find food to delivery to fashion to beauty to online lectures to institutions. Everybody is using and embracing digital technology to be able to survive after COVID. So the digital services that people relied on during the outbreak are like online marketplaces, cashless payment, contactless delivery, and live streaming will almost certainly become ubiquitous now because this is the way to go in future as well. So we are building a new ecosystem for entrepreneurs who need to adopt all these platforms in order to be able to be successful in their ventures. And the future we envision post-COVID is one where people and business are prepared to enable through technology, without which life doesn't continue. Whether it is continue business operation or maintain access to essential needs, the digital economy will play a crucial role in all aspects of our lives. So it is important that you have a digital transformation strategy. So this is a sunrise sector. I thought I will end my presentation with this sunrise sector, wherein not only just digital, but you could also consider looking at OTTs and VFX, animation. A lot of assets are required to create this digital online courses for universities or for companies where, because there's no physical interaction, it has to be done virtually. So a lot of these tools have to be developed, and people with these knowledges are in a rise, and people would be willing to recruit such students or professionals who wish to embrace this sunrise sector as a part of the learning post-COVID. So with that, I end my session, and I would invite Keetana to speak from here on as to what is digital now, how you can be more savvy, and that way you can actually build your own portfolio. At the end of this, I'll also want to share a two-slider presentation from one of your batchmates, maybe your seniors, who've actually interned with us and benefited during this course of internship. So over to you, Keetana. And thank you, guys.
Thank you, Priya. That was very insightful presentation. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Dr. Vanita and Dr. Thenmozhi for having me here. All right, so let me just jump right into my presentation. Yeah, can you all see my screen? All right. So I'm Keerthana Chandrasekharan, CEO of Bungie Digital. So Bungie is a digital marketing agency. So we specialize in social media management, search engine optimization, website development, and all things digital. So like Priya said, I'd like you all to follow us. We do a lot of digital marketing related educative content, which would definitely be very beneficial for you all. So we have weekly blog posts and live interviews with a lot of people who have established their brand in the digital space. So you could follow us in Instagram, Facebook, as well as in LinkedIn. Right. So as a follow-up to Priya's presentation, it was very insightful in the sense that it's quite clear digital is the future. So people are spending more and more time in mobile devices, in the internet, and the entire, I think, behavior of people is quite changing, and it is guided by the digital space these days, especially with the pandemic in place. And also to re-emphasize on that a little bit, I would like to show this graph that shows the spending pattern of US-based companies for their media ads. So if you look at the year 2018, so you can see that the traditional ad spend is slightly higher than the digital marketing ad spends. Traditional ad spends, it includes television, radio, newspapers, billboards, so all these things. So if you look at 2019, digital has already overtaken traditional spend, and the projection for the years, it looks like in 2023, digital is going to be doubling the traditional ad spend. So I think we can actually analyze it within our behavior internally. I don't know how many of you guys read newspapers regularly or watch TV, but I'm pretty sure that we all spend a lot of time in social media, watching Netflix, YouTube, so anything that is digital. So that is how the spending pattern of companies for their advertising has been as well. Right. So throughout my presentation, what I would be doing is I would be going into a little bit of details about each of the components of digital marketing. So digital marketing itself is a very vast area. And I think, over the last few years, you might have heard of a lot of catchphrases, keywords, PPC, SERP, SEO, so all these things. So the aim of my presentation is to give you like a launch pad, kind of a base ground for you to have an overall really good understanding of different components of digital marketing. So that being MBA students, despite of what career path you choose, you could take up a corporate job, you could be entrepreneur, starting up your own company. So whatever is that you choose for yourself, this would definitely equip you to market your firm or your products much better. Right. So in this chart, if you see, website is definitely kind of the starting point for anything digital marketing, because that is where people have to come to see all your products and what your service offering is. So all the other components, what they do is, these are all the methods through which you are getting people to come and visit your website. So, for example, there is SEO and there is content marketing. So you're going to do paid search advertising. so email marketing, and you're going to promote your products through social media and influencer marketing. So in the next few slides, I'll be going into each of these components and showing you some samples on how these things work, and how you could start off your digital marketing process as well. Right. So before I go into each of these components, digital marketing or any marketing, you need to, there are some basic rules that you need to go through before you start off the entire marketing plan. So before you go and start off your advertising, the first thing is your brand story. So what does your brand stand for? What, have you decided on your brand identity, your brand colors? So what is the about of your brand? So you need to be very firm and clear about it for people to, relate to that. Next, very important one is understand your audience. So there is a saying that if you are targeting everybody, you're really targeting nobody. So that that is why you have to understand your audience and your everything, starting from the way you design, starting from the way you communicate, the messages that you're publishing in the social platform. Everything should be targeted and made specifically for the age group or gender or the demographics of your particular audience. Also, you need to be clear on long-term and short-term goals of your marketing strategy, because digital marketing, there tends to be really I have seen that some unrealistic expectations. So you can't start off your digital marketing in day one, expect everybody to come and purchase your products. So you need to kind of have a strategy in place. And digital marketing, like any other marketing, takes its own time to some posts do go viral in a day, but you can't always be expecting on every post of yours to go viral. So you need to have consistency in terms of your strategy in place. Right. So the first component that I'm going to go into is website. So, starting from 2000s or 1990s, people have been buying domain names, hosting their own websites and everything. But, today, the same rules don't apply anymore. Today, there are more people who are using mobile phones than PCs for accessing internet. So if you look at the statistics, mobile accounts for 70% of digital media time. So even you could look into yourself, you probably would be spending more time in your mobile browsing the net than from your laptops. So that applies for other audiences as well. Hence, websites these days, they need to be designed with a mobile-first strategy. So you can't have the same website for your laptop or desktop screens and just convert it into mobile anymore. So you need to think through, put in the thoughts on how a mobile user is going to navigate my site. So what would he be looking at first? How is he going to scroll through this? How is the navigation going to work? So all these things, you need to put a lot of thought into that. So another one is, if you are a online store, if you want people to come in and purchase, so you should be integrating e-commerce modules and automate a lot of things. Today, with AI and everything, the kind of automation that is available it's actually a great level of automation that you can incorporate. So there are chatbots. You don't need to have a full line of customer service executives anymore. Chatbots automate a lot of these things. So you should be looking at that as well. Right. And as a starter, many of you might not have a tech background. So these are some tools that you can start off considering. If you want to make your own website, probably you could go through some tutorials and these things. For a starter website, you definitely can put something in place together by yourself. You can go to Wix or WordPress does need a little bit of coding. But so if you want to have a shopping website, you can host it in Shopify or BigCommerce. So these tools, if you are really interested in putting up a site for your brand or even for yourself as your portfolio, so these are some tools that you should really look into. Right. So now you have created a website, right? Now how are you going to get people to come to your website? So that is the main challenge of digital marketing and the entire purpose of digital marketing as well. So this is quite a funny quote. It says the best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of Google search results, because nobody really is going to go there and see that, right? So it's really important, page 1 might be a little bit of exaggeration, but it's really important for a brand to be in the first few pages of Google search results or any other Bing or Yahoo search results, because otherwise you're going to be ignored. People are not really going to pay attention and come to page 10 of Google and find your company. So that's definitely not going to happen. So that is where SEO comes in place. So SEO is search engine optimization, right? Right. So why is SEO important? Like I said, it doesn't make sense for a brand to be beyond first few pages of Google because they're going to be lost in the crowd. There are over 1 billion websites that are indexed by Google. So you can imagine, you can no longer expect to just publish a website and expect people to come and find it. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be really lost amidst all the noise and chaos. So you have to have a really good SEO strategy in place to improve your search ranking. So there is a lot of things involved in that. One is, you need to analyze your the keyword that you want to show for. Let me just show you an example. Probably, I think that will help. So here I'm searching for best video makers. So if you look at this, so these things are all ads. Yeah. So now if you come below this, you find, there is Biteable, there is Wave Video, Filmora. So these are, sites that really are present in the top few listings for this keyword, best video maker. So, and it is extremely important for you to target only the relevant keywords, because otherwise what happens is that even though if somebody is searching for, say, best website tools and I show my video maker, it's not going to convert, because the person who's searching for is really not looking for a video maker now. He's looking for a website editor. So you need to target relevant keywords that is going to convert for your business and work on creating really good content within that. Right? So one is, you'll be in on-page and off-page SEO. So there are two kinds of SEO efforts that you will have to be putting in. One is on-page, in the sense there is a lot of optimizations that have to go into the code level of your website. So that is called on-page SEO. So wherein there is a lot of components. There is you have to ensure your titles are all described correctly, matching your keywords. Your meta description of your site should be relevant to your keywords. So there are a lot of different technical components. So I will not be going very deep into that.
Your presentation is not coming on the screen.
Okay, sorry. Let me just see. Are you able to see it now? Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, sorry, I've been actually missing some questions. I'll probably get through the questions at the end. Yeah, can you see the presentation now?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'd not be going very deep into the technical aspects of on-page SEO, but if you're interested, you can always go in and learn or write to me. So another one is off-page SEO. So off-page SEO is, there are different components that affect your off-page SEO score. Couple of things is, one, how many other websites are linking to your websites? How many good quality other websites are linking to your websites? So there is no easy or way or shortcut to this. You should have really good quality content, so that are shareable in other websites. So a lot of websites, if you see, they might be doing blogs and other things. So, you could wonder, what is the point of having so many blogs in a site? That is because, we are trying to generate good quality content that could be shared by other people as well in their websites, and, would be read by a lot of people. Even if you go to our own website, Bungie, we post a lot of relevant digital marketing educative posts, which I'm sure would be very useful for you as well. So these are the three very important points to note while developing content for your website. One is quality. So because everybody has started developing content for their website, so unless your content is really good and relevant to the audience as well as your search terms, keywords, it's not going to really hit the mark. So you have to be very, you have to consider all these points before you start off developing the content for your website. Another important aspect is the speed. Okay, so the statistics shows that people really don't stay on a page if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So that's I think today all of us are a little bit in a hurry, and we already don't have the time to spend looking at a screen that's taking forever to load. So speed is another important factor that you have to consider while developing your site. So it has to load really fast. The load speed has to be there because, and also you have to optimize all your images and all the content. Okay, so all these are for SEO, that is a global SEO. So your site can be searched from anywhere or any country. So the ranking differs according to that. Another component of SEO is local SEO. So if you open up Google right now and search for restaurants near you or travel agents near you, so you see a few people making the mark in the top few, right? So for that there are couple of techniques for getting the local SEO done. So you just show up for when people are searching in your particular area. Because for now, if I'm searching for restaurants near me, it doesn't make sense for a restaurant in the US to show. It's not going to convert. So you have to work on your local SEO if your business has a physical location. Right. So another important point is now that you put in so much effort in getting your website's content in place and everything, so you need to audit your website on a regular basis. So there are a lot of auditing tools for that. I'll just show probably one sample. Yeah. So this tool called SEO Optimer. So it has, so what I did is I actually audited a random website from the internet, and you can see how the page is performing. What is the SEO score? So how is their performance? How is their security? And if you go in, it also gives you a lot of details about each aspect of what could be improved. So, if you have your own website or any website that you would want, you can go to this tool, and there are other tools as well. Another one called neilpatel.com. So all these things, you have to be mindful because when you are a product manager or a business owner, so these are the basic things that you need to be aware of, because you yourself might not even be looking at, sitting and, coding because you're not a programmer. But when somebody is doing, you should have the capability or the knowledge to see if they are doing a good work. So all these audit tools that's why really important. So this is SEO. So what SEO does is, like I showed you in here, so it kind of organically makes your website organically rank. So these guys here in the top few spot, they're not paying Google or anybody anything to be shown at the top page. So they're not really paying it at all. So their content is really good. A lot of people like their website's content and they are visiting it. Their website speed is good. That's why it's automatically coming in the top top few listings. But if you see these guys, it shows us ad, right? So these are search ads. So because, they might take time to, if you start off working on the SEO of your website, it doesn't really give you immediate results. It takes months and months and months, even years to get to the top listing. But before that, you do not want to really lose customers. So what you can do is you can do search advertising. So essentially, you're paying Google to show your website in one of the top listings. So it shows as ad, right? So Google has, I'm just, search, when you talk about search advertising, there is Google ads, there is Bing ads, there is Yahoo ads. I'm just going to be focusing only on Google ads because majority of the people still use Google for their searching. Right. So there are 5 different types of ads that you can do on Google. So one is search ads. So search ad, it depends on the keyword what I'm searching for. So based on the relevant keyword, these ads show up. And another ad is display ad. So display ad is, you would have visited a lot of websites or blogs. The sample I have here is, so if you go to this blog, it's a food blog. So when I go here, so you see all these banners coming up here, right? So these are display ads. So there are a lot of websites. It's called Google Search Network. There are a lot of websites that are a part of Google Search Network, and they integrate Google's AdSense with their website. So that enables Google to showcase these nice picture image ads in all these websites that are a part of Google Search Network. So these are called display ads. So the first one I showed you, these are search ads. Another type of ad is shopping ads. So here you can see pictures with cost and everything, right? So these are shopping ads. Right. Another one more ad is, so you guys would be definitely watching YouTube videos, and so you would always see an ad and you would skip the ad most probably. So these are called video ads. So one more ad I'm not showing here is a universal app advertising, which, if you are developing an app for Play Store, you can start off your universal ad campaigns for your app. Right. So these are the 4 types of advertising in that you can do in Google Ads, right? So Google has its own platform, an entire dashboard for creating all these advertisements. So it's very detailed, and it's an entire course that could go on for weeks and weeks by itself. But a couple of things that you would want to pay attention if you are creating ad in Google is that, one, target the right keyword, because you'll be wasting money if you're not targeting the right keyword. Right. So another one is, so every ad has something called a quality score. So there are a lot of different parameters by which Google decides on these quality scores. But the baseline is your ad has to be of good quality. The content, the image, the text, everything has to be of good quality. Another one is Google Ads or any search or pay-per-click ads. It's called PPC advertising. You pay for every click that you get. So it's called PPC ads. So all these PPC ads are not very inexpensive. They are not expensive, but they are not very cheap as well. So you would have to be very mindful of how much you're spending and evaluate how much is your each cost per conversion is. So that kind of makes a lot of difference in terms of how much your entire marketing spend is going to be. So this kind of gives you an overview about what pay-per-click advertising in search network is about. Yeah. So when you search for anything in Google, so you know the different kinds of ads. Sorry, can you all mute your? Sorry? So next type of platform that I'm going to go about in digital marketing is social media marketing. So now we have seen, so far you have your website, now you have optimized your website and people are searching and finding it. And if they're not able to find it, you're doing Google Ads so that it shows in the top. So now people are coming to your site. So one more channel that you probably would want to look at is social media. So social media has different, kind of social media. One is Facebook is a different platform. There is Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So all these are different social networks. Yeah. One is for your business. It might make sense to be present in all these channels, but I would suggest you to pick which channels you want to be in. One, LinkedIn is more efficient for B2B. While Facebook and Instagram are probably more efficient for very visual businesses, because they are, especially Instagram and Pinterest, they have a lot of images, especially if you're in business like food, fashion or travel. It makes more sense because they all have very beautiful pictures, and you can see the moment you log into Instagram, you can see a lot of people posting about what they eat or what they wear. So all these things, right? So you need to pick which channel you're going to go with. And you need to have a very consistent content strategy. So, like I said, it's not advisable to just expect a few of your posts to go viral and have a lot of people coming in and looking at your social media. So, rather, what works consistently is having having a good plan about what you're going to post. So you have to have a content calendar. Normally how agencies work is we have a content calendar. Every month we decide what we are going to post for our clients or for ourselves as well. And we automate a lot of these things. So there are a lot of these tools which allows you to schedule your social media posts in Instagram and in Facebook and all the other platforms as well. So you should be looking at that if you don't want to spend too much time and posting it every single day. So rather, if you can automate these things, that would prove efficient for you for your business end of the day, because there will definitely be a pre-planned consistency. Another important thing that you want to look at is, you do automate a lot of these and decide on what you're going to post for the entire month and all that. But situations do change, and you have to be very mindful of that. For example, if you had decided on posting for your travel company in probably March, and the entire March's content calendar is done. But what happened, like March, there was a lockdown imposed, and it really doesn't make any sense for you to post or promote your own travel business anymore. You would rather post alternate content about the current happenings or anything related to travel, but not immediate conversion. So you need to be mindful of the consistent, just don't post today and disappear for another 2 weeks and come back again. So you would have to be consistent for people to start following you. And one important thing is add value. So if you look at any social media pages that you follow, right? So it could be Swiggy, or it could be Zomato, or it could be any travel related or fashion businesses as well. They would not just be posting about their products like come and buy today, shop now. So that would just be one part of their content plan, but they would be adding in a lot of value. So it could be educational content, or for example, a lot of travel companies do travel blogs about what places you could visit, and they cross promote from travel bloggers. So these are things that you should be keeping in mind, because nobody is going to come and follow you if you're just only selling your product through social media. Social media should be a place where you add a lot of value, give some free content for people to come and learn maybe. So that is one way for you to have really good followers that are trusting your brand and remain faithful to your brand as well. So it's not just about selling, it is about creating value and creating prospective customers who really enjoy following you and enjoy seeing your content. Right? So that is also a part of content marketing. So when people say content marketing, it is just about sharing good content that people enjoy looking at. They also enjoy resharing it to other people. So content marketing could be social media content, it could be a blog, it could be an ebook, but it's all, you're just generating good content. So you need to be very mindful of that. Another important point is promote and improve reach. Yeah, in social media also, like how I had explained Google advertising, Facebook has its own advertising platform. Yeah, so you need to promote you could promote your posts, or you could create new ad campaigns for generating leads or reaching particular group of customers. So today, with so many social media accounts being flooded in any of these platforms, for us to stand apart, one, good content. Another one is you must set aside at least a little bit of budget for you to start off promoting your post for it to have a greater reach among your target audience. And social media advertising is a very deep, area by itself. So, it again needs a lot of time for you to get into that. Yeah. So about the next steps on your learning process, I'll be touching that in the last slide. But before that, another area is influencer marketing. So you have your company, you have your website. So you have all these mechanisms. You're advertising, you're publishing good content, and people are all coming to your site, purchasing your products. So another way for you to get really good quality customers coming into your business is through influencers. I'm sure in Instagram or on Facebook or in LinkedIn, you are following people, who are travel influencers, food influencers, fashion influencers. So let me just show you probably one or two people that I follow. Yeah, so I follow these people. They kind of travel influencers. They travel all around the world and they post about it. So I really like looking at their content, so I am following them. Similarly, there is this lady, she posts about fashion, what she wears, and what designers she likes. So when she posts about this, so I follow her, or anybody follows an influencer, because we genuinely enjoy looking at their content. Now when Masumi Nawala, she posts about the particular designer, what I do, I probably go and check out, wow, this is really nice. Let me just go check out who the designer is. So this is called influencer marketing, wherein you are going in as a brand, as a business, you are going and tying up with an influencer like her or like these people to promote your brand, so that only the right audience are looking at it. Because I don't see she promotes women's clothing. Not many men really follow her. Only like women who like these kind of clothing follow her, right? So you are really targeting the audience that are that have really high chances of converting. So this is how influencer marketing work. So you go tie up with people who have a very niche area of followers, and you target their followers who have who end up looking at your brand, and if they like your products, they're definitely going to buy. Yeah. So this is how influencer marketing work. Yeah. One more advantage of influencer marketing is a lot of people, they have ad blockers in their computers installed, because they really don't want to go through the process of looking at ads anymore. So you are circumventing this because I am following these people because I like their content, and I'm not going to block them, right? So it's another really good way to reach your audience. Okay, so one more is email marketing. So I'm sure all of you are receiving a lot of emails from, I actually, from the top of my mind, yeah, Swiggy and Zomato, they send me a lot of emails. So, yeah,
gone off again.
Sorry, what happened?
Your screen is not
for me. Yeah, okay, I'll just restart. It's coming now?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now?
Not yet.
Are you seeing?
I don't see it, but I don't know if the other students.
It's visible, Kirtana. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So another one is email marketing. So a lot of even a lot of us, we get enormous amount of emails from people we have signed up or people we have even not signed up. So a lot of these emails are in our inbox right now, definitely. But yeah, we do open sometimes and we do not open sometimes. But it is one of the cheapest marketing medium. So email marketing, you could you have your own list of customers who have visited your physical store, but you remind them about an offer, or send them a voucher. So email marketing is definitely a really good way, and one of the cheapest ways to get your customers to think about you again. Yeah. And you can automate this a lot. So you can use, these are some of the tools. Freshworks has a tool called Fresh Sales, and you can use MailChimp, or Zoho has an email marketing tool. So you can use all these CRMs for automating a lot of these email marketing process. Right. So another one that I'm going to touch upon is remarketing. So remarketing is a very, very important aspect of digital marketing, right? So a lot of us would have felt that the moment that we open Facebook or go to any website, so we see some ads like following us. So we would have probably gone to maybe Myntra and looked at a particular dress, and that dress keeps following up with me until I probably purchase it, right? So that is actually remarketing. So, if you look at the customer's behavior, the marketing funnel, the first part is awareness. That is when probably, you are doing your social media advertisements or search advertisements. So people who are looking at it the first time, so they come into this. So now they are getting, they're becoming aware of your brand. So this is where, the awareness part comes in. That is the phase one of your relationship, of your brand's relationship with your customer, or prospective customer. So it moves on to consideration. So when does it move on to consideration? The moment somebody clicks your ad or goes to your website or shows any sort of interest in the marketing that you are doing, so it goes to consideration, right? From here to doing conversion is much easier than finding new customers. So there are a lot of tracking tools and analytics which I would share with you in my next slide. But before that, The moment you prospective customer gets into consideration, there are a lot of ways that you can get them to convert just by a product. One is remarketing, because they're going to, in a day we probably look at a few products and we forget about it. But when I open a website or Facebook, and when it comes back to me, when they show the product again, I kind of now seriously consider, okay, fine, should I buy that? Yeah, so that is when I probably, when they, especially, let's say that I saw this email and I now want to go to Prague, but maybe it's a little bit expensive for me. Okay, I'm not going now immediately. And these guys follow me now with this ad saying like they're giving me this offer. So now of course I'm going to go and buy if I'm able to afford it, right? So this is the entire concept of remarketing. So you set up analytics in place to track if users have come to your website, have shown any interest in any of your products, and you follow them up with giving them some offers or just reminding them about this product they were interested in. So this is the entire concept of remarketing. And so the one question that is remarketing effective, it definitely is very effective, because for anybody, if your prospective customer has shown interest in your product, it always makes sense to go and remind them about it rather than spending money in building awareness every time. So always have all the analytics in place so that the conversion that happens from here to here is much easier, right? Right. So a little bit about, now I just told you a little bit about remarketing, but for you to be able to do remarketing or analyze your users, you need to have analytics in place. So one tool that I'm going to touch upon now is Google Analytics. So Google Analytics has a very extensive data collection and its own user interface, and it kind of shows you a lot about your website's users. So it shows you by their country that they visited from their devices that they have used, or what is their behavior and everything. Let me just maybe show that a little bit. Yeah. So if you look at this analytics screen, you can see how many users have visited in the past 7 days and how many users are there right now. So it even gives you a lot of real-time sense. You can even see through which traffic channel did they come from. Did they come through organic search? Did they come through social media or through advertising? So how did these users come to me? So all these channels are source of acquisition. I can see that. So on what time of the day or what day are they active, and what country they come from? Did they come from are they using mobile phones? Are they using desktop tablets? And there are a lot of different report that Google Analytics gives you. You can even see what is the age group of these users. So it really gives you a lot of insight on making business decisions as product owner or business owner, or who's promoting a product. You can definitely go back to the data and optimize your campaigns. For example, let us say if you are running an ad campaign in Facebook, and if you see that a lot of conversion is happening, only younger users, maybe 24 to 30 years, but the older users are not converting. So now this gives you a lot of insight to understand, maybe think about why is this not really converting with older users. Maybe are they not able to relate to the ad? Maybe should you change the creatives of the ad with an older person so that they are able to relate to it. So these kind of marketing and business decisions you would be able to do only if you have the right data in your hand. And you would have the right data in your hand if you analyze and every data point that comes into your website. So that is really important. Of course, with user consent, because when you go to a website, you definitely have the cookies and the consent policy, which you can, of course, say no to. But this gives a lot of insight for you to make good business decisions. Okay, so the almost the last thing is why digital marketing. So we saw how do we do digital marketing using different components, but why? So what is the advantage of digital marketing when you compare it with traditional marketing? So the first point is hyper-focused. That means, so if my restaurant or if my travel agency or my boutique is in a place, so I can only target customers who are within 5 or 10 kilometer radius from my shop. because it really is not going to convert for me targeting people from elsewhere. So I can be very hyper focused in terms of where I'm putting my ad spend. Another one is cost effective. So cost effective in terms of it is definitely cheaper than advertising in traditional media because it gives you a lot of control. So I can decide how much I want to spend today, or maybe if, for example, if Diwali is coming and more people are going to buy clothes, so I can spend in more money during only that period of time. So with all that control in place, it really works out to be much more cost effective, so that you're not wasting money in the wrong period of time or with the wrong set of people as well. Yeah. Another one advantage is customizable. So like I told you, you would be analyzing the data and thinking through why exactly didn't it work. So for different age groups, you can go and show different ads. For different gender, you can show different ads. So in the ads that you're targeting to women, you can just show a women model. For male, you can show a male model so that they relate to it. So you can customize ad to any extent. Final one is the ability to analyze and optimize. You have a lot of data in your hand. So take it, it could be your Google ad platform or Facebook's ad platform, or you bring in the entire set of data to Google Analytics. You have enormous amount of data in your hand to analyze it and make really good decisions to optimize how you're going to optimize the way that you're spending in your money. Right? So these are some really good advantages of why you should be in the digital space. So, this 30 minutes is definitely not enough for me to cover through the entire area of digital marketing. So I did touch base upon different components. Probably I hope it gives you a base work for you to start from. But from here, you would definitely, if you are interested in pursuing this, getting to know more about digital marketing. So these are some of the courses that you could look at. This would be the best fundamental course. So this is offered by Google. It's a free certification course. So it's called Fundamentals of Digital Marketing by Digital Garage. So you need to check this. So it takes, I think, 40 hours a week, and it takes like 2 weeks for you to complete. This is very essential for anybody who's starting off with digital marketing. So post that, you can decide where you want to go. So do you want to specialize in Google Ads, Facebook ads, or Google Analytics? You can do certification course in each of that. And if you want an overall in-depth picture, we have compiled together in our website top 10 digital marketing courses. It includes a set of paid and unpaid courses, so which gives you a really good understanding about digital marketing. So probably you could go visit our website to check out these courses as well. These courses are not by us, but these are courses recommended by us. So you can go in and check that out. Right. So finally, here my thank you slide. So I would just want to emphasize that while we are talking about businesses and how businesses should embrace digital marketing, so as individuals, you are a brand, right? So you should be looking at creating your own identity. So I am not asking each one of you to go and become an influencer. So what I'm saying is, for you to establish a good career, people have to know what you have. So, being visible in the digital space is really important. You could probably have a very well, laid out LinkedIn page with all your projects and details that you have done with your photographs. So you really need to stand out among the crowd, because you have enormous competition at this day and age. And it is really important for you to stand out in the digital space to further your career. All right. Yeah. So I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, I can probably take the questions. So.
There are a lot of questions on the chat box. Maybe you could reply to them while we invite squad leader Unni to move on.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right. Yeah, I think that saves time. Yeah, sure. So I'll get back to you on the questions. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Unni, yeah, would you like to start?
Yes. Shall I take over?
Yes.
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and especially a big thank you to the 4 ladies who made this happen. I'm talking about Vanita and Priya, the head of the Department of Management Studies, and Kirtana. Thank you very much. This is Coordinator Unni, and all of you, whenever you hear a military person, you always feel that there is an ethics part of it which comes along with bag and baggage with them. Not entirely true, but yes, there is a reference point there. But I don't want to talk about ethics just like that. I'm going to give you a case study. Okay, so one of the institutions, organizations that we connected with came up with a huge factor. You're all MBA, I mean, you're all prospective MBA graduates, right? So you will always hear this term called attrition wherever you go, okay? And normally it's considered that attrition, it ranges around 25, 30, depending on the industry, varies and all that. So this particular industry that I met with, the group head HR said, my attrition is 120%. That means if we get a set of 100 people, in 3 months' time, 80% leave. In 1 year time, 120 people leave. Okay, so that's the kind of standard that they were talking about. And when we analyzed this particular issue and we went deeper into it, most of the time, the lack of knowledge about what ethics means to a professional is the reason for these kind of attrition and, let's call it unethical conduct that happens. Okay, a person joins, okay, gets trained by this particular organization, gets an offer from another organization, doesn't give notice, leaves. Okay, the organization gives him a laptop, okay, and he quits without notice, picks up the laptop and goes. Okay, so these are all common things that you would probably get to know as MBA graduates, and when you're going into organizations, heading institutions, heading teams, you will realize that these are all unethical conduct. So let me give you a little bit of statistics, okay? You'll be surprised, especially in relating to the Indian situation. In the Transparency International Index, we are 76th out of 170. We are considered to have a very, very poor work culture. Okay. In terms of ethical companies, in the 2020, there is only one company which is featuring from India. Just one company in the world's most ethical companies. Just one. I will not mention the name, but nevertheless, in terms of global fraud, okay, the global average is 39%. India is at 61%. Okay. And surprisingly for you, you're all going to be in middle management or senior management, depending on how much of your, what your CTC is going to be. Okay. 37% of all frauds committed in organizations are from the senior and middle management. So that is statistics for you. Very, very interesting. Okay. And also frightening. So what are the benefits of being ethical? Is the question that probably all of you have in mind. No? What should I be ethical to be professional? Okay, let me tell you, it's the basics. All right, in a situation probably about 25 years back, this whole ethical story began with your family. Okay, it started with your grandparents, with your parents, and it moved on to your teachers, and it then moved on to your organizations that you work with. Right, but that particular trend has changed quite radically. Okay, nuclear families, broken families, and all of that, and too much of emphasis on marks for you to cross over into becoming professionals. All of those things are something that you have grown up with now. Okay, but please remember, if you have to go up the ladder and be successful, you cannot say no to ethics. Okay, the importance cannot be overemphasized. Okay, the need is for ethics, values, code of conduct. The whole story is so large, but unless you put that foundation in place, you're going to be lacking in terms of being really, really great at your profession and being an asset to the organization. So please remember, as long as you're an asset to the organization needs you. The minute you are unethical, you become a liability, and the organization doesn't need you. Okay, so having been in the armed forces for about 14 years and having been in the training field for the last 17 years with Excel, I can tell you that you just cannot afford to be unethical in a professional capacity. Okay, it includes various terms. Okay, you can talk about it as integrity, honesty, reliability, accountability. All of these are terms that are integrated into this whole ethics module. Okay, so giving more emphasis on organizations which really, really take all this into consideration. I'll give you an example. Okay, how deeply an organization goes into this. I'll give you an example. Okay, so this is another case study that I can quote from. All right, and there is this company which is into green energy. Okay, so they have talked about environmental being a very, very important part of their own setup. All companies have their vision, values, and all that stuff. So they are an environment-related company, and they have said that anytime there is an option to go green, which is environmentally helpful, they will go for it. Okay, and they are going to recruit a CTO. The interview panel has identified one person who will perfectly fit this role. Okay, but you know what? They go into specifics of this person's behavior and attitude. Okay, and they note that this guy has a SUV. Okay, and it's a petrol guzzling SUV. Just imagine the depth of where this particular organization is going to choose a person for a particular role. Okay, so that's the importance that I'm talking about. All right, so if you really go into the mechanics of any organization's growth story, okay, especially if they have their values set, if you want to be there, if you want to be a part of the Fortune 500s, you need to be ethically strong. So each of the organizations that you go to, it's coming to a stage where even if you're going to be linking yourself with a recruitment site or recruitment agency, they're going to ask you whether you're ethically qualified. Now, this whole importance has come through because the government itself has realized that ethical values are a huge concern, and they have globally asked that we need to raise our stakes. We need to be better present in terms of ethics in the global field. And the government has put together in place where the AICTE, which is part of any technical training that happens in India, has said that every person who passes out of their institution has to be ethically trained. And it's come to a stage where, whether they like it or not, just like you go through your placement training, you raise a resume, just like that, an ethics certification will become a part of the story if you have to go for placements. Okay, and it's not only for the show that you need to have a certificate. Okay, it is also for you to basically know that it shows character, and that character makes a difference in an organization. And that's the kind of people the organizations want to firstly take in and then hold on to and take you to the next step. Okay, so it's very, very important that you think of ethics. Now, we have been doing training for the last 17 years now, and we have come to a stage where we realize that ethics has to be a part of it. It's so important that we have been tasked with this whole range of giving these ethics workshop training both online and offline. And we have been given the task of training close to 2 lakh candidates every year. We have signed up to this particular institution, which is based in Hyderabad and which has got the tie-up with the government for completing close to about 14 lakh in a year. So that's the kind of range that we're talking about. And you all will also be a part of this whole exercise, because no matter what you do, if you're not placed on an ethical platform in comparison to others, okay, let's take a simple example, okay, of one person being certified by a reputed organization that this guy is ethically sound. In comparison to you, he will be preferred if you are not in that same bracket. So that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Now, you might even ask, sir, there are lots of organizations that we join. While we want to be ethical, the organizations are not so ethical. True, absolutely true. So what we're doing is, this particular agency that we're working with is going to be giving a rating. So they will go into background, they'll go into attitude, they'll go into the certification process, they'll go into all those details, and they will rate each individual who's part of this particular network, and also each organization which signs up. In fact, this organization already got 400 organizations on board saying that we want to be ethically valued and rated. So just imagine how sound this whole thing is going to be. So to you also, we can state this. There's only one slide that I want to share with you for just giving you an idea that this is where you can probably get more information when we talk or when you can ask questions. Please go ahead and just note down this particular slide that I'm showing you. to turn on that particular thing.
Unni, you can share with us later. We'll send it to Dr. Vanita.
Yeah, we can do that. Not an issue, not a problem. Okay, right. So we feel that, I mean, it's very important for you to know these things right now because you're all in the pedestal of stepping out of a portal from the Madras University and stepping onto an organization. And you'll all have your dreams, you'll all have your expectations. And so also an organization will have their dreams and expectations. Do you match them or not? If you don't match them, there is a fallout, right? So ethics, professional values will hold a huge value to you as you grow up the annals of your progress professionally, both as a person and as an organization. So please be advised that this has to become part of your portfolio, and you will need to be professionally, ethically valued, and you will probably need to have a certification that carries weight with you around. I know of organizations that have, for many reasons, given the pink slip to people, because even a few things like, going into torrent while you're in the office computer, even that is ethically, it's unethical, and you will need to realize that these are all part of ethics training, and it comes from professionals who have groomed people in ethics and values. Okay, so that's where I close. I was given about 10 minutes, and I've stayed within the 10-minute limit. If there are any questions, like Priya was telling, you can get back to us, and you can also share our details. Okay, over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Squad Leader Unni, and I think with that we come to a close of the session. I have two important announcements to make. So one is about some questions are coming up on the chat window. If we are not able to answer, I promise you that we will send you a reply. I've copied all the questions and I'm going to answer them, or each speaker would answer and send it back to you all. However, I will take a couple of questions on careers in digital marketing. I think there was some question about that. So regarding careers in digital marketing, I would think that today, like I mentioned in the beginning of our context, for this particular topic, that it's important that all of us know what digital marketing is, because without that, you can't be relevant in today's job market, or if you want to be an entrepreneur, you will not be relevant. So it's important that you are aware. Now, what are the things that you can choose? So one of it is already that you people are doing core, subjects like marketing, product positioning, and all that in your studies, and you're also knowing about human resources. Some people have taken their electives of human resources, some on finance, different areas. But I think every area that you all have taken as your electives has a component of digital. So if I look at human resources as one of the topic or your elective, it's very important that you need to up the game today. If you're not, there are technology which is going to take away. So this is a conversation that I had at Cochin when I was addressing the planning and management teams there. This is the same question. If you're not relevant today in being digital or in the way that you are looking at things, you will not be looked at. So you need to embrace the tools. It could be data, it could be analytics, it could be anything which will enhance or remove the redundancy of a human element. So please go through a lot of these education sites. You'll get more information, but I'm also happy to answer one-on-one. My details are there. Either you can reach me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm more than willing to answer your questions, and in LinkedIn as well. I counsel students on career options that they could take, so you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Having said that, due to paucity of times, I need to just cover one or two slides of friends from your college who have actually joined us as interns. As we open up this session for internship, any of you who are interested in interning, please do write to us. We are happy to take 2 interns at this point of time. So make sure you're the first person to be the intern. Just hold on a second. I'm going to show you this slide. Yeah. So there are two students that we've taken as interns. They are in the final year right now. I've just asked them to share their feedback as to what they learned, so that it is easy for you all to sort of understand, because they are from one amongst you. So the first person is Praveen. He's taken up MBA and specialization in human resources, but he's worked on digital marketing, website management, social media management. So his learning has been on, he's listed it out. I'll just read it out to you for ease of, communicating here. So he's worked with a brand called Virginia Tech in India. So he had experience on Google Analytics, Google Keyword Planner, Search Console, and on-page and off-page web optimization. He's also created content for the website, VT India. You can go and look online. He's also created brand awareness using the social media platforms, and also worked on Facebook Ads Manager and Instagram Insights. Now, somebody asked in the question saying that how do we get access to this? So the best way to get access is to work an intern in a couple of companies, and you'll be able to work on real-time projects. So I think the next slide is about real-time projects. So he's worked here on all that you spoke about and asked about. That's one of the greatest advantages to work on real-time projects rather than theoretically learning stuff. So he's also taken the certification, which Kirtana did mention, Google Digital Garage. It's great to have the certification while he's graduating, because he's ready to face the market. The next person is our Manoj. He's actually, I'll tell you, I've interacted more with Manoj. He steals the hearts of people within, working with the team and working alone by himself. He's got a great sense of humor. That's one of the greatest quality. And I think everybody who's in digital should also have a sense of humor, because sometimes, always laughter is the best medicine for, tiding over crisis. So his learning has been with the brand Bungie, where Kirtana is the CEO, and he's really worked towards end-to-end of social media. And you see his learning path included social media marketing, content writing, digital auditing, search engine optimization, market and brand research analysis, and Google Analytics. Now, here is the chance for you all to really apply and also learn to implement what you learn. So his plan in Bungie was to work on creating sites to making it live, keyword planning, blogs. Some of the clients that he's worked are Quality Motel. It's a hotel. He's worked on our brand Bungie and our co-working spaces. So normally we try and be a little sensitive for client data, and hence we monitor what's happening. So first they're given an option to work on our own brand, so that they're able to explore, and also they are able to learn things from our own team. The other things that he did was on market research in a couple of clients. You see that he's worked on a timber client and a school. So that again gives him a variety of work that he's able to do. He's also done the Digital Garage certification. And that's the next one that he's done is the Google Ads search certification. Now, this is again 2 certificates that he got in a record time. Having said that, I closed the session today with 2 things for you as students to remember. One, be aware about what's happening around you and skew your entire career towards what's the latest, what is current. Second, be ethically right in what you're trying to do, because it takes you a long way. Because I think Unni also mentioned that your character as an individual, as an online a person who's putting information online, is all watched today by human resources professionals. And like what Kirtana said, you have to upskill and retool yourself constantly to be relevant. So with these 3 takeaways, we would like to conclude the session for today. And we will also share our email IDs right out here for you all to send any questions that you may have, or if you want to ask anything in person to all of us, we are more than willing and happy to explore that. I'm sharing my email ID right here. So please do feel free to write. And if your questions are not answered, we will try and answer it latest by tomorrow. All right. Any other questions? And I right now I hand over the stage back to Vanita digitally. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of Synergy Management Club, Department of Management Studies, University of Madras, I thank this opportunity to propose vote of thanks. On the outset, I would like to thank our resource persons, Ms. Rangapriya Gautam, Ms. Kirtana Chandrasekharan, and squadron leader Unni Nair sir for their inspiring and informative lectures on the topics Going Digital, DC and AC, Digital Marketing, and we are really grateful to you for having taken time to enlighten us with your knowledge and presence. We thank your HOD ma'am, Dr. Tenmuli, for her guidance. We are thankful to our faculty coordinator, Dr. Vanita Agarwal ma'am, for her constant motivation and support. We also like to thank Dr. Kajal Sharif sir for his presence here with us today. A heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for your active participation. We look forward to connecting with you on more webinars. With these warm words, we move towards the end of the webinar today. And we are sharing the feedback form links in the chat box as well as in the common WhatsApp group we have so that you can fill it up.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.